Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. This is Pet Crochets. So my 1 year anniversary just passed and this was the outfit that I had crocheted for a celebratory brunch that my husband took me to. As you can see, it was very wrinkled and just not where I needed it to be. This outfit had already been wet blocked one time and I decided that I want to try dry blocking or steam blocking and do a little video for you guys. This is just going to be a talk through video, and in the background you'll see me steaming or dry blocking the garment. There's Netta's butt. She's going to be in and out of the video. You'll see her kind of milling around in the back. Let's start with what exactly blocking is. So blocking should be the final step of your crochet or knitting projects. It's basically when you shape the garment through water, either heated water like steam, or drenching the entire project completely, which is wet blocking, or spritzing it with water so that you can manipulate the stitches and have it lay the way that you want it to lay. For wet blocking, basically what I did was I took the garment and put it into a bucket of cool water. After that, I took the garment out. Oh, there's Nado getting my way again. I took the garment out and very, very gently squeezed the water out. Now, with wet blocking, since you're drenching everything in water, you have to remember that the garment, the stitches, the yarn is very delicate at this stage, so you don't want to wring it, you don't want to pull too hard, you don't want to tug it, anything that would damage your project. So you want to gently squeeze. I've heard some people say to squeeze it as though you're making like a rice ball or a snowball, just very gentle. After that, you're going to find a spot that you can dry the garment in. You want to put a towel, it should be a flat surface, and you want to shape the garment into the shape, its final shape basically. So when it's dry, it's going to be in this final shape. You're going to shape it, and then you're just going to leave it. You're going to leave it until it's fully dry. Some people like to use pins. I know there are special pins made specifically for blocking. Some people use like foam boards in order to stick the pins in to shape it. I just like to use an old towel on top of a whiteboard. This is just what works for me. Of course, if you want to experiment with different ways of wet blocking, there are a ton of videos out there, a ton of information. So what do I use to dry my garments on? I have this old whiteboard, as you can see in the video. It's perfect because I can prop it up and block it, well, dry the garment that way, or I can lay it flat on the floor. So for the wet blocking, I laid this entire setup flat on the floor and I shaped my garments and left it there to dry. This is a 100% bamboo yarn. It's the True Boo yarn from Lion brand, I believe. And this took, I want to say 3.5 days to dry fully. It does take some time because you are fully drenching the project. Another reason why you should be wet blocking your garments when you finish is because you want to wash the garment. Most likely the yarn has been, going through some shipping process or in the store and it's dirty. So when you wet block and you put the cool water into a bucket or a pot, you want to also mix in a little bit of wool wash or some sort of soap specifically made for knit or yarn garments. And that way you'll be cleaning your garment as well as prepping it for the final shaping process. Now that we've talked about wet blocking, let's get to what I'm actually doing in this video. So in this video, I'm trying dry blocking or steam blocking. This is my first time trying this. Again, the garment has already been wet blocked once, but as you can see, I threw it into the closet and it got very, very wrinkled. So I needed a way to kind of take the wrinkles out and reshape the garment without having to let it dry for 3 days. I took this out of the closet literally the day before my wedding anniversary brunch, and I was panicking because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I have to wet block it again and it's going to take 3 days. I won't be able to wear this. And then I remembered that, there is dry blocking or steam blocking that I could try. So with dry blocking or steam blocking, you can use one of these like mini portable steam machines, or you can, I know people use an iron, so they'll put an iron with the steaming feature. You can put a old pillowcase or a linen cloth on top of the garment and then use the iron on top of that in order to steam the garment, but I'm just using my handheld steamer here. So what you want to do is you want to hold the steamer about 2 inches away from the garment, not too close because you risk putting too much heat on the garment. But you're going to hold it about 2 inches away and then go up and down and over all the edges. You can see I'm like manipulating and moving the sleeves of the garment around just to get all of the wrinkles out. When you're done with the steaming, you'll notice that the garment is not drenched, but it will be slightly damp. So there is still a drying period. I find that it's not nearly as long as wet blocking. This took about, I'd say, less than an hour to fully dry. So once you're done steaming, you're going to, again, put it on a towel or a flat surface and shape it, and then leave it to dry so that it dries into its final form. Dry blocking is perfect for also cotton yarn. It's good for yarn that is more delicate, that can't handle being drenched, because when you fully drench a garment, you also risk all of that water weight kind of pulling and stretching the garment out. So I find that this is best for yarn such as cotton yarn or more delicate yarns. Because this is a bamboo yarn, it tolerated the heat well. You don't really want to use too much heat or steam with synthetic yarns because you risk melting or damaging the yarn, if that makes sense. So here I am just steam blocking the pants as well. It worked really well. Going forward, I will be using this method to freshen up my garments, to take wrinkles out, and to also block some of my swatches so it doesn't take as much time. For the final blocking method, we'll talk about spritzing. Spritzing is basically exactly what it sounds like. You're going to take a spray bottle, fill it with clean water. You're going to lay your garment down on a towel, and then you're going to gently spritz the garment or the swatch or whatever you're working with. You're going to drench it with the water. This is perfect for yarn or projects that are more delicate. So for example, mohair or silk yarn. You want something that isn't going to change the shape or damage the yarn in any way. So you spritz it with the water. You're not going to wring it out or to take any of the excess water out. What you're going to do is you're going to spritz it, you're going to shape it on the towel, and then you're going to let it fully dry. For spray blocking or spritz blocking, you might need to pin or shape the garment before you start spraying the water. So you want to do it in sections. You want to spray a little bit, use your hands to kind of feel to see how wet the garment is and smooth it out. You want to keep checking to make sure that it's wet enough that it relaxes the fibers of the yarn, but not so wet that it's drenched. I personally don't like spritz blocking because I find it's kind of hard to determine when to stop or when to put more water, if that makes sense. So it always ends up being either too wet to the point that it starts kind of changing the shape of the garment, or not wet enough. Blocking is definitely going to take some trial and error and some experimentation, and also knowing what yarns you're using on your end so you can determine what method is the best for your yarn and project. So this is what the anniversary outfit looks like now that the steam blocking is complete. You can see that the wrinkles that were so apparent before are nearly all gone. it's just laying so much nicer, the stitches are relaxed, and it's a perfect fit again. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do a tutorial on these pants and this sweater top. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!